We already have methods for login and logout. Now it would be nice to log in automatically at the moment of launch. When we create the login manager, it's good to immediately check whether shared preferences has the relevant fields. To do so, we extract the relevant values from shared preferences and store them to the relevant variables. When getting data from shared preferences, we need to provide the default value, which will be returned unless the data we were looking for was found. In our case, it can be a null. If the key is not found, the null value will be returned. We already have the methods for reading and writing to shared preferences, as well as logging out. Now we just need to handle one more situation, checking whether the user is currently logged in. To do so, we add a public boolean isUserNotLogged method, because we'd like to know if the user hasn't logged in, and we have to redirect him or her to the login activity. If any of these fields is empty, it means that we haven't managed to log in. Now we just need to prepare the login manager field and assign it in the onCreate method. From now on, we'll use our login manager in the application. We'll implement a scenario where the user, as a default, starts an activity with a list. If the user is not logged in, he or she gets automatically redirected to the login activity. If the user is logged in, he or she remains in the activity with the list. To do so, we introduce two changes. In the Android manifest, we remove the intent filter from the login activity so that it doesn't start as a default. We'll leave only the one inside the to-do activity. This leaves us with one main activity. Now, the moment to-do activity is started, at the very beginning of the onCreate method before setContentView, we can check whether the user is logged in. It's important to call it before setContentView because if it turns out that we shouldn't be in this activity but in another one, there is no point in preparing the user interface. We start by getting the login manager. In order to do so, we have to extract our to-do application. Each activity has the getApplication method, which returns the current application. Given that the method returns a standard application, we have to perform casting. In order to get a login manager from the to-do application, we need to have an access method because login manager is private inside this class. We take advantage of the possibility of generating code in Android Studio, hidden under the Command N shortcut on a Mac or Alt Insert in Windows. This allows us to generate a public getter for each field, thanks to which we'll be able to get the value. Now we go to the to-do list activity, and from the to-do application, we call get login manager, where we can check whether the user isn't logged in. If the user is not, we'd like to go to the login activity. We use such a code in order to go from the main activity to the login activity when the user is logged out. We can transform the code into a method. To do so, we call the Alt Command M or Alt Control M shortcut. In our case, we named the method goToLogin. This method simultaneously goes to the new activity and finishes the current ones. Now we just need to call the goToLogin method. It's good to finish the current method, that is onCreate, by calling return. If we skip this step, the code goes further and the setContentView method is called. A while later, finish is called and the activity is finished. Now we just need to fully take care of the logout. Taking advantage of the fact that we already have the login manager, we can transform it into a field and use it the moment we log out. Before going back, we call the login manager logout method. Thanks to this, our keys are deleted. We won't be logged in when entering the application again. Now we just need to restore the login handling in our login activity. Here we have to restore the keys we moved to the login manager. We can copy them to our activity. Because our data is already extracted, we can get the login manager and perform the save login method on it. At this moment, we have full support for logging in and logging out. We can log in the user and save his or her data, as well as start the right activity the moment the user is logged in. During the test, when I'm logged out and I try to return to the activity, I get the login screen. After the login and the return to the application, I am back in the activity list because I've already logged in. We have a full handling of logging in and logging out. We also have the session token, which will be needed for communication with the server. Looks like we're ready to move on to start downloading data from the server.